welcome to another episode of Monix. So today I actually plan going all cute and bougie on you guys, so bear with me. Today is a guest show, so I won't be doing a lot of talking. I have two beautiful girls, two beautiful ladies actually on today's episode who will be doing justice to the questions I have, for today's episode. But before I introduce my guest to you, I need to tell you the story that actually inspired today's episode. So, sometime last year, I got a message from a friend of mine, a male friend to be precise, that I've known for about 7 or 8 years. He sent me a message letting me know that it would be visiting my neighborhood with his family and that he would be, glad to catch up with me, meet with my own family, and then we can actually hang out, visit some stores, malls, cinemas, and whatever. So I was actually excited to actually, meet with him and also his wife, his beautiful wife and children. So fast forward to the day I actually met them. I was actually super pumped at it that we would be going out because I rarely go out. So on getting to where he was lodged with his family, I met his wife, beautiful wife, and very nice young lady. I met his 2-year-old girl, very pretty girl, and also his newborn, very cute baby. It was less than a month then. So it was actually a good time catching up with my friend and his family members. So after some time, after we had gisted for a while, I was like, okay, why don't you all go get dressed up and then we hit the road. And to bust my bubble, his wife told me that she would not be able to go out with us, but that myself and her husband could actually, go out, maybe visit the cinema or, go to a mall nearby, visit some stores, do some shopping. But at that point, I felt a little bit uncomfortable because I felt it was actually not too right to just go out alone with our husband, who in this case, is my friend. So I'm not sure if my friend did realize that I was a little bit uncomfortable with that arrangement. Somehow he just suggested that we could, both of us could go out, taking his 2-year-old daughter along with us. Well, for me, that actually made a little bit, it made more sense for me to, take the 2-year-old with us rather than just, go alone with my friend, the husband in this case. So we did go out. We went to a mall nearby. My friend did a lot of shopping, moving from one store to the other. But on my own part, it was just a time to bond with a 2-year-old, very beautiful girl. We took a lot of pictures. We shot a lot of videos. We tried a lot of funny stuff together. Eventually, we had a lot of fun, and then we went back home. After all our shenanigans. So afterwards, I thought about a lot. A lot of questions came to my mind, like, is it actually right for someone who is married to keep friends of the opposite sex, hang out with them alone without, having your spouse, there? Is it actually right to invite your friend of the opposite sex to your house when your spouse is not around? Should you, talk to them on the phone for long hours? Should you share intimate, information with them? A lot of these questions just came to me, and I felt like rather than, ponder over all these things, all these questions all by myself, why don't I just invite some guests on today's on Monix, and then they can answer a number of questions, and then anyone watching might get some ideas from them. Even if you don't get any ideas from them, it just gives you an idea of the fact that in your marriage, in your relationships, you need to discuss with your spouse what you care about, when it comes to keeping friends of the opposite sex, whether you have rules, whether you have boundaries, whether you need to have regulations, whatever works for you. So now, to answer the questions, I'm going to leave the floor open to my guests, but before I do that, I need to introduce them to you. So I have two beautiful guests, two beautiful young ladies. Both of them are married, so I actually chose them because they're actually married and they can relate to this topic. So my first guest is Patience. Patience is a smart young lady. She is very witty. She's very witty because most times when she calls me on the phone or when she chats me up, she just brightens my mood. She makes me laugh. I love having, I love having her around me. I love chatting with her. I love talking to her on the phone. So I'm so excited to have Patience on today's guest show. And my second guest is Bimbo. Bimbo is also very beautiful. She's smart. She's dynamic. I've known her for over 2 decades, and she's gonna do justice to the question. So, guys, I'm gonna leave the floor to them. Guys, when they're done, I'll come back to do a recap, and then we call it a day. See you soon.
Hi, my name is Patience, and I will be recording this video on behalf of Monique's YouTube channel. So, all these questions relate to marriage and friendship, etc. So, I am married, just to have the background info. So, to answer the first question, no, I am the only opposite sex friend that my husband is allowed to have. I think, when you're married, you really need to block any opportunities for temptation. So if my husband has like friends of the opposite sex, like, I mean, there are so many opportunities for temptation. So no, he is not allowed, and I am not comfortable with him having a friend of the opposite sex. And for question two, no, it's inappropriate for my husband to share any intimate information with someone of the opposite sex. I think that can open up like a door for like adultery, cheating, etc. And it's just not right to know that someone else out there who is not within your marriage knows something so intimate, between you and your husband. And then, to me, honestly, that's like a form of adultery. It's just not okay. Um, Question number three. No, I feel like if my spouse has like, if all his friends are of the opposite sex, that's kind of like a form of polygamy. That's inappropriate. I think it will actually make me question our marriage and the trust aspect of our relationship. I don't think I would even be with this person knowing that he has a lot of friends who are of the opposite sex. No. That's why, you date someone before you get married, you get to know them, who their friends are. Yeah. And then for the fourth question, yeah, I mean, whose house? I mean, they won't even see the gate of heaven to my house. No way, that's impossible. I will not allow, like, my spouse's friend of the opposite sex to come and sleep over. Whose house? Like having a witch? It's like having a witch come and sleep over in your house. No way. I rebook that. I rebook that friend in the name of Jesus. No way. If they come, they show up, they'll sleep outside the gate. Like, yeah, with the dogs outside. You know how we keep dogs back home in Africa outside the gate. Anyways, the fifth question. No, I don't think this question is so funny. No, like, no, I wouldn't. Well, I wouldn't allow like this friend of the opposite sex to take my husband out. For what? My husband can take me out and we don't even need to go out. We can do take out inside our house. So no way. It's like, no, that's not even marriage, honestly. Maybe if it's an open relationship, maybe like what some people here do, but not for me. I would not do that. Where? Like, no. That's like that's like having another wife, a second wife or something like that. No. Okay, the sixth question. Um, no, I don't think it's necessary for me to be friends with my husband's friends. I think I just have to know them, who they are, what their character is, and And I'm honestly not even for I don't support my husband having like a bunch of like maybe 15, 20 friends. No, it's just it's 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 not needed, you know. So I think it just depends. If they are good, genuine, and devoted Christian friends, I can just be nice to them and be welcoming, but I don't necessarily have to be close friends with them. I just have to be welcoming to them, but it just depends, you know. The seventh question. Um, so, how long should your spouse spend on the phone with his friend of the opposite sex? Zero, zero time. He will spend all that time with me. But if it's strictly like business, work related, then I can understand. But I have to know that friend. My husband has to introduce me to that friend, that colleague, work colleague first. Yeah, and he has to set boundaries with that colleague. Like, you cannot call this specific at this specific time because I'm with my wife, etc. So there has to be boundaries. I have to know every person who calls my husband, especially if they are of the opposite sex. I can only allow it under like business, strictly business circumstances, conditions. The eighth question is, should your spouse talk with their friends of the opposite sex? Do you consider it disrespectful? Um, I think no. He should not be talking with his friends of the opposite sex late at night. Like, he should be talking to me. We should be cooking something. I don't know, something nice, delicious. Not like busy talking with someone else. No, no, absolutely not. I will not allow it under any conditions, even if it's work related, like late at night. That's maybe 11, 12. I can understand up to 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Okay, that's fine. The ninth question. Yes, if my spouse, if all the friends of my spouse are of the opposite sex, I would definitely question that. It's a deal breaker to me. And I don't think that I would like to be with a person, as a husband like that. That's, like I said before, that's like having like a form of like polygamy in your marriage, but it's just a bunch of like female friends. I mean, when you're married, friendships change. Everything, your character, you have to change so many things when you're married. You can't behave like you are still single. Yeah. The last question. The best sincere advice for couples on what type of friends to keep. Definitely devoted and genuine Christian friends who always care about you. And I would definitely recommend hanging out with more married friends than single friends. Like I said, when you're married, your friends and everything changes. I'm not saying don't have single friends. You can, but you have to set boundaries, I feel like if you're married, you should have more married friends. You should associate yourself with more married friends because you're likely to be on the same page, you know. And lastly, keep a few but good friends. You don't need 15 friends, for the sake of being popular. You just need a few friends, but very good friends. Genuine friendship is really important. Yeah, thank you.
Are you comfortable if your spouse is friends with someone of the opposite sex? Yes, I am comfortable. I mean, they work. My spouse work. He goes to work. He goes to church. I mean, definitely. So he has to be friends with people, irrespective of if you're male or female. But the only thing is, I should know all of my spouse's friend. I should know all of his friends. So yes, I'm okay with that. Can you allow your spouse to be best friends with someone of opposite sex, someone they can share intimate information with?
No. N-O, capital N-O. I mean, I'm supposed to be my husband's best friend. So there's no other best friend they are sharing information with. No other best friend. And human being can be biased. We can be biased. I need to be very realistic. If I have someone, if I have, okay, let's assume I have a friend who is my supposed best friend. If the best friend, irrespective if it's either male or female, if the person is telling me about their spouse and something, I'm gonna judge that spouse based on what that my supposed best friend told me, and I'm gonna relate to that spouse exactly that way. So I wouldn't want it to happen in my own situation. So I'm supposed to be my husband's best friend, and yeah, and no intimate information with any best friend. I'm the best friend. I'm the only one who has, I mean, that authority. So yes. So no. Would you be comfortable if all your spouse's friends are people of the opposite sex? No. No. There should be a mix, male and female. Is it okay if a friend of the opposite sex comes to visit your spouse at home? Can they sleep over? No. The only reason why I would allow my spouse's best friend to come over to my house and sleep over is because, one, I'm aware of that and I know the reason why that is being. And the third reason is this person must be a common friend between myself and my husband. So no opposite sex who claim to be my husband's best friend coming over to my house and sleeping over. An issue. Would you allow this friend take your spouse out, or your spouse hangs out with this friend alone? No. Out and oh no. No 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 no. No 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 no. How long would your spouse spend on the phone with his friend of the opposite sex? Well, for a responsible man and for a responsible opposite sex friend, I mean, they should not be on phone for more than 10-15 minutes. I mean, 10 minutes max. And this should be maybe because they are discussing about the job, or they are discussing about sport, or and something I'm aware of, you know. Yes. But anything exceeding that time, no. Should your spouse talk with their friends of the opposite sex late into the night? Do you consider it disrespectful? First of all, it's never gonna happen, and if that happens, it's very disrespectful. I mean, extremely disrespectful. And I have a rule. I mean, we have a rule in our house: when it's 7 p.m., no call from opposite sex. That is it. No call from opposite sex when it's past 7 p.m. I mean, why would you? I mean, late night talk is meant for someone you love, you know. So why would my spouse be talking with someone at night? No. Will having too many friends of the opposite sex be a deal breaker for you in your relationship? Well, I'm not gonna tie these out to a relationship, but why would my friend have too many friends? I don't like people that have too many friends. I'm serious. I mean, I understand you can be friends with people, but you know, like friends you have, I mean, too many friends, that means you are jobless. To me, that's my own explanation. Best and sincere advice for couples on what type of friends to keep. Well, what I would tell people is, you can, I mean, for me, I'm okay with my spouse having friends with opposite sex. I'm very okay, but there should be a limit. I mean, there should be a boundary with it, because the boundary set, I mean, it helps you. So there should be a boundary for everything. And when your spouse start having friends, I mean, someone of opposite sex, and they start telling them intimate things and all that, I mean, it tells a lot that they don't trust you. So for you to trust your spouse, I mean, you gotta be open to each other. I mean, being open to each other really helps a lot. So that's what I would advise friends. I mean, couple.
Welcome back, guys. Now you've heard from Bimbo and Patience. Those are their opinions. So I don't know, but the key takeaway for me is that each relationship, each marriage should have its own rules, regulations, or boundaries when it comes to, you know, keeping friends of the opposite sex. So, and I think the best time to have such discussion is while you are dating or courting. But if you actually did not do that prior to getting married, it's not too late. You can still discuss with your spouse. You can let them know what you're comfortable with. You can let them know if you're not comfortable with them speaking to their friends of the opposite sex late into the night. You know, whatever works for you, just make sure you have that conversation with your spouse or your partner so that things can actually go smoothly. Because for a fact, things like this actually ruin marriages. They ruin marriages. So we all need to be careful. We all need to learn, and we all need to communicate. So communicate with your spouse, communicate with your partner. So guys, that's all I have for you on today's episode of Monique's. I'll be back to you very soon with another interesting topic. I hope you guys loved what you heard today. I hope you loved today's topic. I'll see you guys. Take care. Bye.